Hi, I'm Eric.
And I'm Dick. We're the Annuity Guys.
Dick, we're looking at gimmicks, amateurs, and charlatans. You think we should avoid them, maybe, or what are we going to do with all these?
Well, Eric, everybody's worried about having that bad advisor experience, and it's so hard to differentiate between these three. And I think the first one, let's just start off with all the gimmicks out there.
Well, and the internet has a lot of them.
Yes, It's full of it. I mean, you're going to see all of these ads that talk about
8% roll up
or 15%,
15% this year guaranteed.
And I wish they would say roll up. They'd say returns.
They say guaranteed.
Yeah, and it's guaranteed. Right. And you know what? There's elements of truth to what's being said.
Sure.
But not good full disclosure. And at least people...
Well, they've only got this much room. They can only tell you what's, 8% guaranteed. They don't have time to tell you on the roll up for future income.
Right.
All of a sudden, then you've got people that are disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
It's the classic bait and switch where
Yes.
look at what we've got.
Yes.
There's your teaser, the sizzle, as we like to say.
Well, and it's sensationalism.
Yes.
So, folks, that's one of the things when you're trying to judge if something's more legitimate or less legitimate. Don't be taken in by all the hype, all the sensationalism. Be aware when someone hates annuities because they're actually selling annuities.
That's right.
When you look deeper into it, you spend a little time with them. Yeah, they like annuities, but they're trying to
it's coming in
sensationalize
the back door.
Yes.
If you're a senior, let me give you an alert here. Senior alert!
Beware.
I'm going to save you from the annuity salesman
and sell you an annuity.
You probably never seen if you're here watching us, you've probably never seen that on the internet.
Another one, Eric, is all of these free reports and instant quotes. But you don't have to put in much information other than your phone number and your name, your email address.
So we can call you in the next 30 minutes or sell your name to somebody who will call you.
And let you know that you need to give us more information for this quote. And and you may be bombarded by 15 different annuity salespeople when you do that.
We always say, if you're signing up for the free report, look at the star next to the name, and that little star will go down to the bottom of the page and tell you exactly what they're going to do with your information.
Yeah.
You may be contacted by no more or up to 6 people helping you, just so you can get your free report.
Exactly. And folks, many times you're on the internet because you like to do your own research.
Yeah.
You want to learn a little bit before you're talking to someone, and then you want to make sure you're talking to the right person, not just anyone that is next in line to be sent to you to try and sell you an annuity. So just be aware of the free reports and all of these urgent calls to action. Hey, Eric, we offer reports.
Yes, we do. We offer copies of the book. We offer that and complete full disclosure, yes, we're going to send you probably a weekly annuity informational piece, and it's in our little asterisk full disclosure that you're going to get these pieces. And what we try to do is keep you informed, just like we're doing here today.
But Eric, the goal is to get people properly educated and let them make a decision on their own timing when they need a good referral, when they need a specialist.
Yes.
And so anyway, it's just something to be aware of. Yeah. Also, this is going to hit every category that we're going to talk about: gimmicks, amateurs, and charlatans. And that's the urgency to purchase.
Dick, I need you to sign here today.
Do I have to?
You
Eric?
have to now today. You've got because I can't guarantee that this is going to be here tomorrow. And so if you can and I hate this in the annuity world, but when people start talking about, go ahead and sign because we've got this thing called a free look.
Oh,
so
just go ahead and do it. You'll be okay.
You can change your mind in the next 10 days after I come back with it.
It's called the free look close.
That's right. So it's okay. Go ahead, sign. Don't worry about it.
Well, Eric, there is a legitimacy to that when someone has spent the time, done the research. They're reasonably, confident with the person they're working with, and yet they may have a little indecision. Well, that's a good reason to move forward because you do have time to rethink everything.
You've got a chance to undo what you've done. However, if you don't feel comfortable, don't go with the.
Well, and Eric, we've seen it in this industry. All of the sales methods that make great claims as how to do a one close annuity sale and close $1 million, one close, one meeting, and that's high pressure stuff, folks, and that's just not good. I mean, you should recognize it when it's happening, and
if you're not
run
comfortable,
from it.
if you're not comfortable, that's not the person you want to be working with.
Let's talk about amateurs. That's a tough one because they fit every category here.
Well, I love it. And we've all probably been in the first day out in the business. We got our talking points.
Running out with our new briefcase.
That's right. My manager said I was supposed to talk to you about an annuity, and what do they have? They have their 5, 6. Did I tell you we have a 10% bonus
and 8% return?
That's right.
A return of 8%.
8% roll up, guaranteed.
Here's a brochure.
Yes. Well,
let's go through this together.
Let me read this to you as I learn what I'm doing here. The biggest problem I have with amateurs, and it's not a criticism, but there's too many people who don't understand the annuities that they're trying to offer you.
There's a sophistication to it that has to be individualized to the person. And there's a lot of knowledge needed. I mean, Eric, we have been in this ourselves for years. We learn every day, and we learn how these things integrate together, and that's the type of folks that we recommend and refer to people. Right. But when we run into so much out there, because we get to see it all because of the the internet, folks that folks that come and talk to us, it's kind of bizarre what folks are sold and shown and
well, it's the misconceptions. People hear one thing because the advisor doesn't go into the full disclosure. And a lot of times, I don't want to blame the amateurs, but they're the most guilty of not understanding the products. Yes. And there's some out there that are very confusing. I mean, they'll say, hey, it's got a 5% average historical return. Mm-hmm. Well, they don't go into the fact that it only credits every 5 years. So, you don't see that on your statement. So after year one, you're going around going, hey, I didn't get any crediting. And now you got to call the company because the guy that sold it to you is no longer in the business because he didn't sell enough of them to people like you.
Well, and then you're disappointed. It wasn't what you thought it was. Right. And you can't unroll it. I mean,
not without a penalty.
Right. So again, when you're working with amateurs, they're going to have a tendency to just kind of focus on the positives.
They're regurgitating the notes that they've been told by somebody.
They're going to avoid the tough questions. They're going to.
Can I tell you about the bonus? It's got a bonus.
Coming back to
and an 8% roll up.
Like the politician.
You need to sign now.
when you ask them the question and they just keep coming back to the answer they know. And so again, everyone needs a chance to get started and get their footing, but I don't think if you've got your whole retirement at stake, you really want to work with an amateur.
Exactly. If you got your choice, don't work with the amateur, but then also don't work with the
others,
the charlatans. I always said Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. When you
that's the hardest one to figure out, Eric.
Well, because they're usually very good at explaining to you in their. These guys got all the presentation tools. They don't want to be questioned because they know it all.
Exactly. This false air of authority.
Well, I don't know if it's an error of authority, but it may not necessarily convey to what you're trying to accomplish.
It doesn't open you as a client or prospective client. It doesn't open you up to asking all of the questions you should be asking. It kind of shuts your questions down. Kind of puts you in a position of not having the knowledge you need, and they have the knowledge, so you'd better be relying on them.
That's right. I am the annuity. We should have been the annuity gods instead of the annuity guys. Divinity has proclaimed that thou shalt follow our annuity advice. In the book of Dick, it's these guys they don't want to be questioned. They know it all. And this is the classic. If it's too good to be true,
it really
it probably is. But the way they tend to present is, and we talk about, you can, all the upside of the market with no downside. Well, it's not all the upside of the market.
Exactly.
There's limiting factors, but they tend to talk in generalities
Yes,
also.
yes.
That, it's all these little,
And Eric, many times they'll know one product very well, and they'll be able to give you all of the answers on that product. And amazingly, that same product works perfect for every single person. That one or two products they
it
know.
just so happens I have that brochure with me.
Yeah,
and I also
yeah.
have the contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew this would be
Yes.
the perfect one for you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how many other products do you offer? Oh, I have hundreds.
Right,
Well,
I have everything.
but you know
Right.
what? This is the perfect one. And I knew it would be before we even sat down. Because you look like a nail and I'm a hammer, darn it.
Yeah, yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of that high commission. I got to focus on this
Yes.
product. It's going to
Typically,
pay
that'll
me
be
well.
their high commission product.
It's going to pay me well.
Yeah.
And you'll be happy if you don't
Right.
ever call me again.
Right. Well, exactly. And because after it's all said and done, they really can be very indifferent. Unlike when they're working with you, when they can be very personable and friendly and helpful.
Let's go out to dinner.
Spend a little more time on the personal aspects of getting to know you rather than the actual mechanics of the annuity and your own situation. That it needs to be evaluated.
Yeah, that service after the sale is like, and I know you from somewhere, but what's your name again? You don't want to have that kind of experience. You want somebody that knows the products and these things do change. So knowing what's the best for 3 or 4 options for you and presenting you with more than one option.
Well, exactly. And Eric, going back just briefly here to the fact of being too good to be true. We run into that occasionally with folks, and I'd say even a little more than occasionally, because if they don't know much about these type of annuities and different types and how they work, sometimes they're amazed that annuities can do as much as they can do.
That's true.
But you have to balance it. You have to give the negative side.
And the cons.
The pros and the cons, so folks fully understand it. And that's the difference between just painting that really great picture that's almost unbelievable, because it's not really balanced.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get something for nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
And each of these products works well for certain situations, but there's also limitations. There's nothing that should be considered too good to be true in this category.
And one thing that we have noticed too is advisors that focus on the bonus. The bonus is a big part of what they talk about. Did
I tell you about the 8% bonus and the 10% bonus and the 8% roll up?
So when someone keeps focusing on that type of a thing, that should be a warning sign.
Yeah. Don't ever be afraid to ask the advisor that's presenting something, what's the biggest holdback to somebody considering this? Because each of these products has a element that is basically a limiting factor.
Yes, exactly.
There are no small insurance buildings. If you haven't noticed.
That's true.
You want these companies to make money. They're guaranteeing
you want them
retirement.
to be secure.
You want them to be successful. However, you want to know how it is that what you're trading, what you're getting from a benefit, what you're trading off in the sense of what you're giving up. It's usually an accumulation or a livelihood. So,
Eric. Okay.
I was going to ask you.
Ask me.
I was going to ask you. So, how do you know, or how do you avoid, the gimmicks, the amateurs, the charlatans? What's the best way to avoid these guys?
Well, Eric, really what you're trying to avoid is a bad advisor experience. Yeah. And to avoid that, I would say, first of all, getting someone that comes highly referred is probably the best answer. And then going maybe that step further, and asking them to maybe speak with a couple of their clients that have been with them for a long time. That would be a possibility. And check with the Department of Insurance. Check the broker check. Those type of things. And I do feel though that one of the best things that folks can do is actually find someone that's highly recommended, highly referred. And whether they would work with us on a referral or they work with a local attorney or a CPA or
somebody they trust
exactly
that gives them a legitimate referral, not just somebody that's in the business that we happen to know, but somebody that they've worked with and they know.
And there's a big difference between good, honest people and specialists, people who truly have the ability and the skill to navigate the waters of retirement for income planning, using annuities effectively in a balanced way.